Alec Baldwin. You know what I'm saying? The fucking legend. The
Legend! We need you on Flagrant.
Alec Baldwin. You know what I mean?
Guys, a lady died, guys.
Yeah,
Say again?
Come on,
A lady died,
bro.
Oh, I was talking about how he had just had his 7th kid.
Oh,
My
respect
man
to
never
him.
shot a blank in his life. You know what I mean? We're talking about
He's shooting up clubs
Yeah,
and movies.
That's it.
Damn.
Listen, no, but
crazy.
he's like Akaash with a fucking gun, bro.
Son,
Yo, he can't miss, my boy.
Nice, good aim.
Okay, so what's the deal? So he's been indicted. Is that what it's called?
Yeah, he's basically one of 3 people being charged with involuntary manslaughter.
What is the difference, Alex, between being indicted and charged?
That's the same.
Same thing.
Yeah.
Okay. So he's charged with involuntary manslaughter for the shooting of his director of photography.
That's correct.
I think.
Yes, you're right. Oh, shit. You're nice, boy.
Hey, thanks, dog.
Don't sell yourself short in your memory, man.
Hey, thanks, buddy.
Sure.
Oh, random things, 1 or 2 words always. Now,
So break the whole thing down.
He is being charged by the DA, and they basically need to charge you. They need to have like grounds to charge you.
Yeah.
And what they're saying is you are being charged for pulling the trigger, which I don't think you're supposed to do on a set unless like everybody's clear or whatever. But he's saying there's no reason to charge me, and she's saying no. The reason we took so long to charge you is because I wanted to hear back from the FBI on whether or not this trigger was pulled.
Remember when
and
he
the gun
tried to
was fired.
cap like he
And
didn't
tried
pull
to say
the
he
fucking
did
lying
'cause
motherfucker,
he
and I
knew.
knew that motherfucker was guilty. I remember I was doing that joke for a minute.
Yeah.
Do you guys remember that on tour? I was doing they was doing this little like Alec Baldwin joke, but I was basically saying that I knew for a fact that he did it once he said he didn't pull the trigger.
You know, I don't mind giving you credit, but I
Yeah.
don't think you're the only person who thought he pulled the trigger.
Say again?
I love you, and I give you credit a lot. You know what I mean?
No. I know
You
that.
weren't the only one predicting.
I know. No.
You're right about
Let me-
Netflix, though. You get it. Netflix is you. You were right, dog. That's crazy
Sorry.
foresight.
Let me
Son, I
clarify how I said it.
Son, I even hear other people say that shit
That-
now, bro.
Oh.
Yeah, bro.
Let me clarify.
think
That was
OJ stabbed
the
her?
dumbest fucking thing I've ever said. I apologize. I said he did it on purpose in the joke.
Oh, okay.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
way
Sorry.
different.
That,
Yeah.
that sounded the stupidest fucking thing I've ever said in my entire life. I apologize that. But I said he did it on purpose. I don't really think he wanted to kill her, but I do think that he wanted to like shock her. Because if you're not even filming and you're pulling a trigger with a blank, right? You're annoyed by the person. You're working out the angle for a shot. I don't think they're actually recording. So they're working out, and then you know that there are blanks in the gun, you're assuming, so it's gonna make a pop, right? Or does all that pop sound and that kind of stuff go in post?
I don't know. I don't know necessarily. I don't know if
I would assume a blank still pops.
The blank still
Yeah.
pops because the blank, I believe, has the powder. It just doesn't have the
bullet.
projectile.
Yeah.
Yeah. So maybe you're fucking annoyed. This DP is giving you a bunch of notes. You don't want to deal with it, or the director's right behind. They keep on saying all this fucked up
Yeah.
shit, and then you're like, all right, I'm gonna scare them. I'm gonna like passive aggressively bother these motherfuckers, and then you ended up shooting them.
Yeah.
But the fact that he was like, no, I didn't even pull the trigger. It's like you go and you say you fucking pulled the trigger.
Yes.
think
and
he
you
did that?
you say you feel bad about it.
I think he's a fucking loony bin, this guy.
Yeah.
I
think
also
probably- that's
think
probably
it's
true.
just, you know, it's
He got in
just
a fist fight with a guy over a parking spot.
Nah, I can say that. That's New York.
That was in New York City, right?
Nah, he'd been having his. There's like a crazy
You can't be
voicemail he left for
famous.
his daughter.
I almost shot somebody over a pocket.
Yeah, but you're not Alec Baldwin. Like, to be that much of a lunatic, knowing that if you get in a fight in the streets, everybody's gonna videotape it because you're a person who's been famous for 50 years. Like, you have to be a real lunatic. You have to be someone who can't control their emotions at all in public. If you're a regular dude that got a job and another person's taking your parking spot, all right, fight it out. You're not gonna lose your job over
But
that.
I respect it. It's like knowing who I am, knowing this is gonna make the news.
No,
I don't
but
give a fuck.
At the very
This
That's
guy
how you know.
violated-
That's how you know he's out of it.
No, what if the guy violated me? So now I gotta just be
Son,
disrespected.
if you're worth $100
No,
million
you just go
or
back to your
whatever,
fucking
so-
$20 million home.
Yeah,
That's
you
what
get
do.
violated sometimes if you're worth that much money and you let it slide. And if you got to that, and I'm not even saying like an income joke, but you get to that level of income, I promise you're gonna be like, okay, violate me, I'm rich.
Put it this way, it's like
I'm not losing rich because I don't want to get violated.
Remember when they fought the people in the crowd at the Pacers game?
Yeah.
Malice in the Palace?
Yeah, Mouse in the Palace. Like, all of us are like, yeah, you can't just talk to anybody the way you want, slap the shit out of somebody. But you're still a lunatic for going into the crowd and punching somebody because you have so much money to lose, so much opportunity to lose.
I get what you're saying.
You know what I
It's
mean?
not
Like,
the smarter thing to do.
Say what?
Yeah, it's just not the smartest thing to
yeah, it's
do.
not the most emotionally intelligent
Yeah.
thing to do, even though as a man you go, well, shit, if you're gonna do that. But you're also probably thinking, if I know you in that situation, your primal urge is like, I'm gonna fuck this guy up. but your money urge is going, he got one.
Yeah, how much do I have to lose? Yeah.
You gonna pay for a garage.
Yeah.
That's what you're gonna do also.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Like,
And it's definitely different with male-female dynamics, but there's a reason Jay-Z and Solange, Jay-Z did absolutely nothing.
if Alec Baldwin was in Jay-Z's situation, he might kill them both. I didn't even pull the trigger. Bullet to both of their fucking heads. I didn't even pull the trigger.
He also has, and we can get it emotionally, but he got into it with the stewardess because he refused to get off his phone as the plane was taking off.
Oh, yeah.
And he was just like, I'm not getting off my phone. He also left a crazy voicemail for his daughter.
Yeah,
I think
I
she was
remember
like 12 at the time.
Yep.
He called her a greedy little pig or something like that. Like, the guy at the very least will
Looney
fly
bin.
off the handle.
Looney bin.
At the very least, he'll fly off the fucking
Zero
handle.
emotional intelligence and just anger takes over and he can't do anything, which are usually like my favorite people to hang around, to be honest with you. Like just being around something I mean, Dove has a lot of emotional intelligence, but he is so easily, like, he's always in a state of like emotional distress.
Yeah.
And I just love it. It's like the most entertaining.
It's the best.
It's the gift that keeps on giving.
It is.
Yeah,
It's like, that's why he's magic for a vlog, because there's never a moment where he's feeling calm. It's always a
so
moment
true.
of emotional distress.
That's
So you
so
put the
true.
camera on him, and it's magic.
That's-
All right, so what do you guys think? What's going on? Does he end up going to prison?
I think he's fucked because they're charging him as the shooter and the producer.
Explain that.
So as a shooter, you could say, look, I pulled the trigger, but nobody said it was a hot gun. There's not supposed to be a fucking bullet in there. I just pulled the trigger because I'm an actor and I'm trying to be in character, or whatever your reasoning is.
Yeah.
But then they're gonna say, okay, well, if you're gonna blame this armorer who handed the gun over, you're the producer.
You hired the
that
armorer.
armorer.
Yeah.
You're still liable. Now I'm sure that's a smaller punishment or whatever, but I feel like he gets charged no matter what. In any way, there's no way you're not getting charged.
It feels like he would lose the civil case for something like this as a producer.
Yeah.
And then there would be like the insurance that the movie has that would, like, I guess, take on the responsibility of that
Or
payment.
the criminal case, you mean?
No, the civil one he would lose, but the criminal, I can't see him going to prison for it. Like,
But for
I can see
involuntary
him.
manslaughter.
sorry, I can't see him going to prison for the producer role. For pulling the trigger, maybe if he's not supposed to pull a trigger in that situation on set, but for being the producer and then the armor was negligent.
Yeah, criminal negligence is what.
Yeah,
they're
like
trying to
I
prove.
think it's really hard because if you're the producer of a movie, now you're taking on the criminal liability of 400 people that work on a movie. Like nobody would ever even produce a movie. But civilly, I
That's
could see
funny.
it happening.
I see him getting the producer charge and not the involuntary manslaughter.
But I think he's saying the producer charge won't carry jail time.
Yeah, I don't
Yeah,
think he'll
yeah,
carry.
yeah.
But
I
I
think
think
he-
he'll
yeah.
get.
You're agreeing.
Yeah,
Yeah, we're
but-
on the same page.
But do you think he will get found guilty of that?
In
one?
a civil court,
No, in criminal of the producer one.
I think you will.
does that have a punishment of jail time? I think it depends on the punishment.
If
it's like,
it doesn't, you think he will get charged guilty?
yeah.
Okay,
I think
yeah.
the lesser the
Like we're on the
charge,
same place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If it's like he's responsible for that life that's lost, and he's gonna have to do 20 years or whatever that is, or 10 years, like whatever you get
I
for like
think at most
manslaughter.
The
It's
max
5.
is 5
years.
I think
and
it's
I
5.
think that's for shooting, and I think for producer it's 18 months. I could be wrong on that because I'm not still.
They're also
it's hazy
leveraging.
on
I think
what's-
they're leveraging 2 charges against him, and one is more severe than the other one. That's according to the CNN article that I read. They're like, one is basically saying like,
So it's fake news.
yeah, exactly, it's fake news, completely not real. But if basically it's like criminal negligence, or it is like a form of negligence that isn't necessarily criminal, or something like that. But basically, there's 2 charges, and the jury gets to pick which charge they want to go forward with. And then depending on which one they go forward with, then that'll dictate what the sentencing is if he's found guilty.
I think he's found guilty and he avoids jail time.
Got you.
That's my guess.
I'm wondering if they're trying to like get him to testify against the armor.
Oh, fuck.
Where like they're like, we want to get this person. The armor is ultimately, and most people I think recognize like, oh, the armor is like the person that's like most responsible here.
Yeah.
I think the first DA that grabbed the gun that handed it to him in the first place pleaded guilty already to like negligence, and so that's the third person that was charged out of all of them.
I think he should be charged as a producer. How you hire this shitty ass armorer?
Yeah.
I had a better armorer in Las Vegas than you had on this set.
He's not hiring the armor. This is a producer in name only, I imagine, like where you basically give a producer credit. Go.
Yo, how happy do you think Hollywood execs are? Where they're like, all these fucking actors do a movie, they gotta be producer.
Yeah,
well,
yeah,
now you got what you wanted, motherfucker.
Yeah, you're gonna put in name only
Yeah.
right next to that shit.
Like I don't think he actually hired her, like made the call, but he had a much bigger role because like this was him. Like this was an independent movie that he was putting up a lot of the money for. So it's like he does have a lot more say over what happens.
Isn't
Yeah.
the girl's dad also like the armorer's dad was
also an
professional
armorer.
like Hollywood
Yeah.
armor?
Yeah.
So she's like a nepo baby.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she had like almost zero experience.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it is negligent.
But I think that's one of those things where it's like, especially when it comes to Hollywood stuff, where it's easier to get into the union if you have a connection. And then once you're in the union, you're making, I don't know what they're making a day, but probably like really good money per day.
Yeah.
So if you don't have something that you're really passionate about, you might as well get this like really cushy, awesome union job where you're getting guaranteed work, working with all these famous people, and you got your fucking pops.
Yeah, if you're like a PA.
Yeah, that's
or
what I'm
something.
saying. Hindsight is 2020, but this is such a high stakes job to give to a fucking.
Yeah.
Oh, it's an easy. Just
You
do
know,
the.
think
Hey, just
about it.
handle the guns.
You don't want to be the
yeah.
animal wrangler nepo baby. You know what I mean?
No, but
Like-
think about like to them, it's nothing. Like how often does this happen on a movie? I remember The Crow dude.
Yeah, Jason.
Brandon Lee
Yeah,
or
Brandon Lee.
Brandon
Bruce
Lee.
Lee's son.
Bruce Lee's son. Like that happened then, and then shit hasn't happened since. So I think in their mind, they're like, there'd never be a live round.
Yeah.
It would all be blanks. It's no different than props, I imagine, for them. Right?
Yeah.
So you're like, oh shit, I'm gonna get all this money. My pop's gonna hook it up. We're gonna do all these things. Everything's gonna be good. Just like you see legacy people in Transpo. Like your pops was the transportation coordinator.
Right.
You're getting this $500 a day job. It's like, it's golden.
Do you think? Sorry, I just had this
Yeah.
thought. Do you think this is why he had to lie on that interview and say I never even pulled the
That's-
trigger?
I-
Not only to avoid the jail time of I'm involuntary manslaughter.
Oh, you're saying as the
also as the producer.
Yeah.
Oh well, it's just clearly the gun misfired. That can't be on the producer. His lawyers might have been like, yo, you could get pinched for both, so we got to figure out a story that helps avoid both charges.
Yeah.
The truth might help you avoid one, but not both.